project-based learning. It's a fancy term that simply means that you take charge of the projects that you're learning from and the stuff that you're going to do. And this is a continuation of another video, a recommendation from a rather famous developer, TJ Hollowaychuk. So make sure you watch that video. But his recommendation, in the only video known of him, is to take an existing project and see if you can recreate it yourself, and maybe you end up with something better. Those are the exact words. So the idea of project-based learning is like fundamental to becoming an autodidact. It means that you take on projects, whether projects that you manufacture for yourself or someone else has made manufactured for you. But either way, when you're doing project-based learning, it's like, I don't know, it's like story problems in school. You hated them, but why did you hate them? Because you had to really, really, really understand the material, and you would make lots of failures in the process, and you'd have to get, you'd have to kind of come back and do it. So, the other thing about project-based learning is that it allows you to do projects that are as close as possible to the real thing. And I'm making another video about this. I'll talk about how project-based learning, or how for education tools like Free Code Camp have failed so many people because they do not give the hands-on project-based learning that you need in order to truly master it in a way that will come back to you and be available for recall later when you actually do the thing and you want to do that thing. So as soon as possible, not only do you want to start thinking about your own projects, but also imagining the kind of projects that you're going to want to do on the job. And we talked about that earlier when in the startup, in the ignition phase of the beginner boost, about trying to find those kind of activities that you really enjoy. And this is yet another reason to focus on real projects during your project-based learning plan. As an autodidact, you're making your own plan, making sure that those projects are as close to the real thing as possible, because you're not going to get a sense of whether you want to do it or not unless it's a real project, right? So let me give you an example. So I really love typing contests, right? I love doing those, right? Do people like type? Maybe somebody doesn't like type very much, but they love to play a typing game, right? So they might find themselves really enjoying doing the typing game, but they're not really getting a sense of whether they want to do that every day, because they're not going to be typing in a typing game every day. They're going to be typing whatever it is that they're going to be doing. This goes for websites. It goes for, development of applications and all of that sort of thing. I'm not against gamified education, but it's really important that you don't make education too fun. That should probably be the tagline, because gamified education, while it does make education more enjoyable, it's not helping you identify the things that you want to do every day. In my opinion, the best gamification of education is finding the exact thing that you want to do on the job and setting for yourself a goal about whether you're going to accomplish it and how you're going to accomplish it, and imagining a real thing that you want, that is in your scope, that you need, and then making that thing, right? And that could be a game. I mean, for the longest time, we would learn how to make a game to learn web development and JavaScript and things like that. And that's 100%, legit, right? You end up with an actual game that people can play that can become famous. I have a story about that I'll tell when we talk about that. So project-based learning is going to be more motivational. It's going to help the learning stick better, and it's going to give you something for you to put in your resume right away. And so I'll conclude by saying that for all of the beginner boost, every single thing we do is project-based. That means that when we talk about HTML or Go or Bash or any of this, that we are doing it in the context of something that we assume you want to make. And as we're making it, if it turns out to not be something that you want to make, or you don't find a value in it, then you've already learned something about yourself, but maybe this is not for you. This is not your kind of thing. So that is the importance of project-based learning. And as I'll say it again, gamified learning is good, but it's even better when the game is something that you've set out to do for yourself, and you're not necessarily competing against others. You're competing against yourself and your own who you were yesterday.